Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with today's guest, but as always, want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, you've heard me say before, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our interview, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be very glad that you did. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably the best purchase I ever made as an AD was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that demo today. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an AD, I made sure we were a Huddle school. And our coaches, our student athletes, even our parents just love the Huddle platform. Go to huddle.com, join the millions of users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. That's huddle.com. We also want to thank Home Campus. Scheduling, rosters, results, facilities, eligibility, and clearance. Home Campus does all of these and more, does them better, does them faster than the other platforms. Go to homecampus.com, and don't forget to mention you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. We want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support. Go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and click on Content Services to see how they can take your social media to the next level. Wall of Fame's been helping schools bring their legacy to life for over a decade with their video boards, but Beacon Creative Content Services takes it to another level. Check out Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to Content Services. You're going to be glad you did. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Gipper is the modern marketing platform that, with their thousands of custom templates that you can personalize with your logos and colors, allows you to set up, schedule, and share all your social media on one platform. Gipper's number one for athletics marketing, and as I like to say, it's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com to get started. That's Gipper.com. We want to say thanks to Booster Hub, the number one booster club software app. Things like scheduling volunteers, scheduling volunteer changes is something that can drive a booster club crazy. But with Booster Hub, nothing falls through the cracks. Everybody stays connected. Same with sponsorship fees and concession sales. Everything is on Booster Hub's secure system. Give your boosters the platform they need. Give them the platform they deserve. And that platform is Booster Hub. We want to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program. And while they all earned their degree, they also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Let's say thanks to Hometown. Things like digital ticketing, fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction. The Hometown menu goes on and on. Whether you're an AD, a coach, even a principal, Hometown is going to show you how to save time. It's going to show you how to raise more money, and they're going to show you how to bring your entire community together. You'll find it all at hometown.com. That's hometown.com. And we want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. If you're not using a survey to take the pulse of your student athletes, your coaches, how about your parents, you're missing out on a great opportunity. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey just for you. That's athleticsurveys.com. And with all of our sponsors, make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We're going up to one of my favorite states, North Carolina, and we're going to be visiting with Leslie Reeves. Leslie is a certified master athletic administrator, and she's the longtime teacher, coach, assistant AD at West Brunswick High School. By the time you listen to this, actually maybe not by the time you listen to this, it might be early, she is assuming officially the title of athletic director at West Brunswick. Leslie Reeves, welcome to the Educational AD Podcast.
Thanks, Jake. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, we're recording this for listeners on June 25th, so it really will be very timely as you listen to it. Leslie, we always like to let our listeners have a chance to get to know our guests. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, where you grew up. Just kind of take us up through your college days, and then we'll take a quick break, hear about your career. But what's the Leslie Reeves origin story?
Well, I was born in Sampson County, which is about an hour and a half from the coast in North Carolina. I lived on a farm. My parents farmed. My mom was a teacher. I was a three-sport athlete in high school and worked in the summers and lived the typical farm life, so not shy of hard work. Really grew up, in the fields or in the shop and things like that. Went to UNCW to pursue an education degree in physical education. Played club sports there, and just my love for athletics was great ever since I was in middle school. And just went on that path and wanted to eventually be a coach and also in the administrative world.
I just love hearing the stories and the journeys that we all take. I want to go back to, you growing up. Now, I grew up, out in the country, small town. It wasn't a farm. My dad was a contractor, but all our neighbors were farmers. And so I know a little bit of that lifestyle. As a kid, was it, hey, can you take me into town so I can shoot hoops so you didn't have to do some of those farm chores? Or what are some of your memories of those early days?
So I played all three sports so I could stay in the gym. But on the weekends, obviously we were doing, either with that bale and hay or standing in fields while they sprayed or working in the shop, organizing bolt racks and things like that for my dad. Or cleaning the house for my mom. We, uh, we didn't get a lot of, extra work in unless we were at the school for the most part because we always were family oriented and to help out around the shop and the house.
Now, as far as sports, was there youth sports, local rec league, or was middle school your first exposure? What are some memories of that time of your life?
There were some rec sports that were around that we were able to play, but the majority of it came middle school wise. We travel ball was not a big thing when I was younger, so you played all the sports you could in high school, and like I said, very few people that I went to school with, played travel and things like that. And the opportunities from where I'm from, a small town was not available. We lived in a community, Parkersburg, and it had one stop sign. So we drove 20 minutes to a grocery store. We didn't have the luxuries of having those big opportunities. So we, did a lot of pickup games and things like that with the neighborhood and or at school.
Okay. Now, looking back on those days, were there some battles there on that driveway basketball? The girls and guys playing together. What are some memories of that time?
Maybe some sibling rivalry. We played a lot, but it was just for fun when people could, get the time off and could do that. Like I said, most of the time it was in the gym at schools that we had the opportunities.
Well, let's go and jump to that. Let's go to your high school days. You mentioned three sports. So I'm going to guess, volleyball in the fall, basketball in the winter, and then I guess I got 50-50 here, softball or track. I'm going to go softball.
Right. Volleyball,
Okay.
basketball, and softball. So I did all three of those in high school, all 4 years.
Which one do you think was your best? Maybe not your favorite, but what were you really good at?
I was probably better at basketball and volleyball than softball. I set a few school records while I was in basketball with 3-point competitions and stuff like that. But
Oh, wow.
volleyball was my love. So.
Now, you mentioned, I think it was North Carolina, Wilmington, as far as your college, and you played club sports. Did you ever think about, collegiate sports? Were you recruited at all? What are some memories of that time?
I could have had an opportunity to play maybe at some smaller schools, but I chose to go to UNCW and do just the club way. I played flag football, and we were like regional champs and on that, and I did the basketball and volleyball club, played with those, and then the intramural type stuff was more. I wanted to come to the beach to go to school, and having a college scholarship and being a college athlete, it's very time consuming, and it's your job when you're in college. And still love to play, but I don't know if I wanted to commit my whole college career to it.
Yeah. Oh, no, no question. It is very much a time commitment. Now, you mentioned, I think you mentioned, you want to be a PE teacher, you a PE major. I just warms my heart when people use that term. Now it's athletic administration or sport management. I just, as a proud PE major with a health minor, by the way, that's how I got my first teaching job, with that health minor. Were there moments during your undergrad prep that you were going, I don't know if I want to do this? Or was it, hey, this is exactly the path I need to be on?
It was always the path I needed to be on. I had a middle school teacher, Donna Poole, that steered me to wanting to be a PE teacher, and ever since then, that was what I wanted to do. And I got to college, and it was the path that I needed to be on, and I enjoyed it. And uh, I never questioned, like, am I doing the right thing? I felt comfortable in the classroom. I felt comfortable student teaching and things like that. And it came natural to me. And then plus my love of sports helped with that aspect as well. And I wanted to help teach other children and um, other students and people how to play those sports and how to learn that kind of thing and learn about their bodies and healthy living and things like that.
Yeah, I know they're two different disciplines, but I'm right there with you. The student teaching experience, the lab work, and even the coursework. I had some great teachers and role models, and it's just not the same experience as that athletic administration or some of those other majors provide. So thanks for sharing that. Let's go and take our first break. Our guest today is Leslie Reeves. She's a certified master athletic administrator, and she's the director of athletics. We're going to go ahead and say it at West Brunswick High School. That's in North Carolina. We're going to take a break, but we are coming back, so please stay with us. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. You've heard me say many times, probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an AD was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. We use it for home games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. Their products are tremendously versatile, and their customer service, just outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that live web demo today. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches, I'm telling you, all of our coaches just love the Huddle platform. Our student athletes love the videos. Our parents love the streaming, but there's a whole lot more. Go to huddle.com for more information. That's huddle.com. And as with all of our sponsors, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD Podcast. Our guest, once again, is Leslie Reeves. She's the Director of Athletics at West Brunswick High School, and that's in West Brunswick, North Carolina. Leslie, you kind of took us up through your college days and your experience as an undergrad, as a a budding PE major, PE teacher. Um, Graduation is looming. Did you have a job already lined up, or was there a search process to land that first teaching and coaching job?
Um, I did my student teaching at Laney High School in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I was had the opportunity to finish the year for the teacher that I was doing my student teaching under. So after that, I started actively looking for a job. I knew I wanted to stay near the coast, and I loved Wilmington area, so I really focused in on the Wilmington areas and the surrounding areas as far as getting a job. Went on a couple of interviews, and then I uh, got an interview with Brunswick County Schools, with West Brunswick actually, and ended up accepting this job. Started July 1st of 2002, so I'm on 25 years here at this school. So that's kind of it. Landed me still at the beach. We're on the coast, so and it's been a great experience ever since.
So that first year teacher, first year coach. I think I read in your bio, you did some track coaching too. So we always like to say, talking about younger teachers, younger coaches, that you don't know what you don't know. Uh, did you find out anything that first year or two that you didn't know?
Well, the first year for me here was a whirlwind. I got here and the school was under construction. So I, as a first year teacher, taught one of my classes in the cafeteria, one on the football field, and one in the library with a couple of other teachers. And I said, if I could survive my first year with all of this, I was going to be great. Um, so it actually went very well. And then with the coaching aspect of it, I coached all three sports, starting out as a first year because that is obviously my love. But you definitely learn as you go. Experience is a big thing in this field. As go through situations, you learn from those. And the first, I'm still learning now. I mean, I go through situations now, but your first year, I mean, it first couple of years, I learned a lot through a lot of people and a lot of situations here, and just build on that.
As you were, I guess, growing in your career there at West Brunswick, from a teacher coach perspective, did you ever consider at that time, those early years, hey, I might like to be an AD too, or did that just kind of happen over your 20 plus years?
No, early on, I wanted to be in the athletic world and the AD administration. Like I said, I started out with three sports here, and then I dropped down to two. And then when I kept my favorite was volleyball with my love for volleyball. And then I picked up the assistant AD job about 16, 17 years ago. So I was doing that job with head coaching. And then that became pretty much a full-time job. And so I backed away from coaching in order to be doing the administrative role.
You said picked up the assistant AD. Was that an opening and you applied for it? Did upper administration, did your principal say, hey Leslie, we want to take a look at you as assistant AD? How did that all play out?
So it really wasn't a position here. The athletic director, John Floyd, that I worked under as a coach, I just started helping him out. Friday night football games, when my season wasn't going, if he needed anything paperwork wise, helping, go about those, day to day activities. And it just kind of and it just kind of stuck through the next AD. And that guy has currently been here for, I think he's been AD here for 13 years, and he's retiring. And so I'm stepping into his role.
We've heard that many times on the show. I've seen it in my own career as an AD with a coach just helping out. And I don't think there's a better way to become an AD than to do just that. Start getting AD experience. You mentioned helping out at football games. There's 1,000,001 jobs at any home event. I think football might have more, but it's just there's no better classroom, if you will, on finding out, hey, this is what an athletic director does. It's not the teams show up by magic, the officials are there, the popcorn's popping, parents walk in, they go, oh, wow, this is really cool. And they have no idea what an AD does. We're going to take a deep dive into, your role as AD and all about West Brunswick in the next segment. But during that time as an assistant AD, can you think of an event that happened? Could have been a game, could have been anything, where from your perspective, all hell's breaking loose, but, nobody knew because they don't know what you do as an AD. Can you think of a time where it seemed like it was on the edge?
Not one particular time, but there's situations where we're calling back and forth and we're like, we have this going on and that going on, and you might have a crowd issue, and then all of a sudden, the football coaches and some of the people in the stands have no clue that anything happened that night, or an emergency situation where you just try to shield that person from the public eye, and those kind of situations, you're freaking out and going, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Or, but as far as like, one particular one that stands out, I mean, like we had a official have a heart attack during one of our basketball games. And so, behind the scenes, your heart's racing, you're calling 911, you're doing all the things that your emergency action plan kicks in and all of that stuff and instincts. And, but the game went on. And, as far as the stands and all of that, it's kind of one of those behind the scene deals. And luckily, and thankfully he survived and ended up coming to our regional game to support us. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a great example. And you talked about having that emergency action plan that can kick in. So 99% of the people, players, coaches, fans, they have no idea that this almost catastrophic event occurred and was handled. But again, all right, great example. Good stuff. Let's go and take another quick break, but we are going to come back with more from our guest, Leslie Reeves from West Brunswick High School, and that's in West Brunswick, North Carolina. Let's take that break. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We also want to say thank you to Home Campus for their support. Home Campus is a platform that you're going to use every single day. Things like scheduling, rosters, results, facility management. Home Campus does all of this and more, does it better and does it faster than the other platforms. Did I mention athletic clearance and eligibility? That one alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com. Find out all the things that they can do for you and your department. We'd also like to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame, along with their content creation service, Beacon Creative. Now, Wall of Fame has been helping schools bring their legacy to life for over a decade with their video boards, but their content service, again, that takes things to a whole new level. Their talented team of writers and creators are going to take your stories, your history, your kids, your coaches, and come up with compelling narratives that you can then post on your school's social media, maybe on a Wall of Fame video board. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and click on Content Services. You're going to be very glad you did. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Gipper. Your athletic department is doing some great stuff, and Gipper is going to help you share that with the world. Gipper's used and trusted by over 20,000 high school and college athletic programs. They're simply the #1 rated athletic app for marketing. Gipper's thousands of professionally designed templates are easily customizable into your colors, your logos, your brand, to allow you to create, share, and schedule all your social media on one simple platform. And that platform is Gipper. Go to Gipper.com to get started, and don't forget to mention you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD Podcast. Leslie, you've been sharing with our listeners. You've been at West Brunswick for a few years now, and you're getting ready to take over the reins officially as the AD. Tell our listeners about the school, the size, the number of teams and programs, and what are some things that you are particularly proud of?
So West Brunswick is located in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are on the coast with the Sunset Beach, Ocean Isle Beach, Holden Beach, all of those students, Calabash area, all those students come to us. We have about 1,500 kids in our school. We also have some rural areas as well. We have about 18 different sports. With JV, we're over 30 teams that I deal with on a daily basis. About 55 coaches throughout those sports. The things that I would be, that I'm most proud of is basically our student athletes, our coaches, and our community. Our student athletes are amazing here. For the past couple of years, they have won the state's Commissioner Cup for their community service projects. Which is an honor to win that. They get a stipend for it, but they get to showcase how they go out in the communities and help, with elementary schools or with projects or just volunteer work. Our coaches have done a phenomenal job. They bought in with my professional development initiative. We have been a NFHS level 3 school for the last 4 years. So this coming year will be number 5 for us. Our community and booster club, I'm super proud of. They help us in so many ways through purchasing uniforms and helping with upgrades. And then our school system, with the facility improvements, we have a turf field, a new field house. They're very supportive in backing us as well. But I think one of the initiatives that I brought here as well is I went through the NIAAA QPA, and I was the first public high school in North Carolina to receive that and to go through that. And it has helped our school grow and get better and also showcased all the great things that we were doing here.
Wow. I might jump right on the QPA that you talked about. I actually started to do that at my school in Florida, and then COVID hit. That's my excuse, and I ended up retiring the next year. That had to be, and we were going to be the first Florida school to get it. And there's still listeners. There's no school in Florida, public or private, has done the QPA. You need to be the first one. That had to be, I guess, equal parts challenging to go through the QPA components, but also very rewarding to be the first, I think you said public school, to get the QPA.
Oh, yes. I mean, and like I said, there's a backstory of how I started it, but I going through each chapter and being involved in it and seeing how much good that our coaches and our community and our school already did. And then the things that we need to improve on, our whole community and coaches and student athletes jumped on board. Anything that we, wanted to improve, they were all in. We constantly want to get better every day. And showcase what we're all about. And it's very rewarding, and it doesn't stop once you get that QPA award. We are continuing to grow, like our student athlete advisory council and things like that, to get better and all of that stemmed from the QPA. It is a great professional development opportunity. So if any of the listeners are out there, and they should definitely jump on that. I'm currently on the NIAAA QPA committee when they do cohorts now, and it's just been so rewarding to see other people go through the process and gain that knowledge as well.
We're going to do this at the end of the podcast, but I want to do it now too. If one of our listeners did want to reach out, pick your brain about QPA or about anything you do at West Brunswick, what's the best way our listeners can connect with Leslie Reeves?
The best way to do it is through email. I'm pretty good on making sure that my emails get answered, and that's Leslie_Reeves at bcswan.net.
Okay. And Leslie's information is also on the NIAAA membership portal for our NIAAA members. You mentioned professional development a couple of times. I think most ADs really enjoy providing professional development, but sometimes they just don't get a chance either through their own schedule or cost or things like that. It sounds like you're pretty intentional about providing your coaches with that professional development experience. Can you go into that just a little bit?
Absolutely. I started the initiative for the NFHS, the level three coach. So I wrote a grant through our North Carolina High School Athletic Association and was awarded funds to help get all of our coaches level three certified. And once that happened, now as the new coaches come in, it's an automatic expectation. Um, we do fund the paid courses to get our coaches level three because we feel like that's very important for them to have that knowledge about heat illnesses or sportsmanship or strength and conditioning. All of that is vital to making them better. And then also we provide opportunities for them to go to our state coaches clinic or also a clinic of their own choice because we feel like if we invest in them, it just invests in our student athletes as well. And everything is about the kids. We do this job for the kids, and we want to be better for them, and we have to put our best foot forward.
Oh no, absolutely. Can you share? I know I'm putting you on the spot with this one. Can you share an example of how a professional development experience, and you listed quite a few there, really impacted one of your coaches and allowed them to, really grow and, excel in their role leading student athletes?
I would think so. Our coaches get to select like a sports specific type of professional development that they would like to go to. And I think that, some of ours choose sports specific, some of ours choose the FCA clinic, some of ours choose, just doing NFHS classes. But the one through like sports and nutrition, I think there's been a team that we had a coach go through that and learn more about the nutrition and what fuels their body. And they have brought in guest speakers for that and also have helped their team be more regimented on what they're eating in order to prepare for their athletic events.
Oh wow, that's very cool. And again, that's one of those little things that you sometimes you think it's not going to have that big an impact, but it does. It really does. Have an impact on performance and let's face it, lifetime health. Let's go and take another quick break. I know that's shocking to our regular listeners, but we are going to come back with more from our guest, Leslie Reeves, Certified Master Athletic Administrator and the Director of Athletics at West Brunswick High School. Please stay with us. This is the Educational ED Podcast. We want to say thank you to our friends at Booster Hub, the #1 booster club software application. If you work with your boosters, you know that volunteer signups and volunteer changes are sometimes a daily occurrence. Well, with Booster Hub, nothing falls through the cracks. Everybody stays connected and engaged. The same is true with sponsorship fees and concession sales. The Booster Hub app really keeps you on point. Give your boosters the platform they need. Give them the platform they deserve. And that platform is Booster Hub. Let's also thank our friends at Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Now, I didn't get my master's degree through Ohio, but guess what? My assistant athletic director did, along with thousands of others. And while they were earning their degree, they also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. And we want to thank our good friends at Hometown. Hometown's platform that includes features like, well, digital ticketing, of course. They're still the number one digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. But how about fee free fundraising through School Funder, athletic website construction? The hometown list truly goes on and on. Whether you're an athletic director, a head coach, even a school principal, Hometown is going to show you how to save time. They're going to show you how to raise more money, and they're going to show you how to bring your entire community together. That's hometown.com. Check them out today, and don't forget to mention you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD Podcast. Leslie, I've mentioned a couple times, you're a certified master athletic administrator. That doesn't happen by accident. You're also, in that rarefied air of being a QPA school. That's certainly intentional. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about your journey? How'd you get started? Well, even with your state association, the North Carolina Athletic Director Association, and how'd you get involved with NIAAA?
So once I had an interest in being a AD, the first piece of advice, which I would give anybody, is to get involved and utilize the networking system that can help you in your job. I got involved with the state. I started out with being on the awards committee and transitioned into the scholarship chair for our state as well. And then I am also on the board of directors for the NCADA. So I stay pretty busy. I'm on the teaching faculty with the NCADA with the legal classes, and I'm actually teaching $7.99 this summer for the QPA. So if anybody in North Carolina wants to do it, I'm ready. And so that I love helping others, and that was one of my reasons to get involved with the state. And the state, our state has such a great team aspect, and everybody wants to help everybody out, and so that's been great. I got involved with the Section 3 meetings in Atlanta. We've been going to Georgia for the last years to do the NIAAA Section 3. But I also, been actively involved in the NIAAA. I've been a delegate, moderator, a facilitator. I presented at the national conference. I'm currently trying to get on the teaching faculty there as well. But like I said, and you've mentioned before, professional development is a big thing for me. I've taken over 38 leadership training courses. And, my goal is to continue to take them and continue to grow as a leader. One thing I am proud of is I just got certified internationally. So I just got my CIAA. So, that's maybe an opportunity later on. So that was another one of my, just continuing to grow professionally.
So we may be, and I'm somewhat teasing here, we may be seeing you on a beach in a foreign country soon as an athletic director, right?
Never know.
Yeah. No.
The opportunity could arise.
That's right, and you'll be prepared for it. Looking at your journey, and again, I want to touch real quickly on North Carolina. I had the opportunity, the pleasure, the honor of presenting at your state a couple of years ago, and was just I knew Roy and I knew Colin, I knew a couple people, but it was just bowled over by the equal parts professionalism and collegiality of your ADs. Is that just North Carolina, or is that something that you as a leadership team make happen?
Well, I've only been to North Carolina State Conference, but we really try to just put all we've got into it. That's why our state conferences are so good, and we actively try to get the new ADs and all old ADs, because you can constantly learn, and we try to bring in fresh ideas and things like that for them, and to have the professionalism through through presenting those particular courses. And you did a phenomenal job. I'll never forget the water pouring and presentation that you did when you came to our conference.
Oh, well, again, thank you. Again, had a great time there. Actually, had several North Carolina schools actually invite me up that summer to do presentations for their coaches or their parents. Maybe you'll invite me to your school, down the road. But
That's
thank
right.
you. Thanks for giving me that shout out. Leslie, this has just been so cool. You're not just a guest on the show, you are a friend of the show. But we're not done yet. We always wrap things up with the athletic director toolbox. Now, you certainly demonstrated that you know your way around the world of high school athletics, but we're going to take our final break, hear from Athletic Surveys, who sponsored this segment. When we come back, I'm going to challenge you to send out a brand new athletic director on their very first job, but I'm only going to let you put 3 tools in the toolbox. So let's take that break, and when we come back, we're going to see what Leslie Reeves puts in her new athletic director toolbox. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys for sponsoring the AD Toolbox segment. At my schools, we did surveys for just about everything, for our student athletes, for our coaches, even for our parents. And here's the cool thing. The information that came back, almost always over the top positive. We still got to hear from our squeaky wheel parents, but the surveys allowed us to find out their concerns, usually address them before they turned into something big. But going back to that positive data, incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent or student, sometimes your principal, sometimes even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that truly lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. And one more time, make sure you tell all of our sponsors you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. Well, it's that time of the podcast. We've been visiting with a new friend of the show, Leslie Reeves. She's a certified master athletic administrator. But right now, I'm going to challenge her to send out a brand new AD on their first job, but I'm only going to let her put 3 tools in the toolbox. So, Leslie, what 3 items are going to go into your new athletic director toolbox?
So, if I had to give a new athletic director some tools, I would first tell them to make sure that they build relationships with all stakeholders, the people in their communities, their coaches, their students, but as well as their associations and through the networking and all the tools that they can get from others. Just like our website on our NCADA has a toolbox and resources for all athletic directors that are part of our association. I think that is huge in what you do, and building those relationships with your community, your parents, your coaches, and students will help get your point across and help you have a better transition through athletics with school and all of that. The second one would be visible and accessible. Make sure your coaches, your parents, your community, they see you. Make sure that they can get a hold of you. Make sure that you're available. Not open door policy. You don't want to be closed off. And then my last one is we do this for the students. And so put your students first in all the decisions you're making. What's best for them? Listen, be that active listener when people are talking to you. You want to serve with integrity, and you want to make sure that, you're putting the kids' best interest first and foremost.
Boy, in true athletic director fashion, you snuck a couple other extras in there, which is great. I love it when athletic directors do that. So cool to hear people, lead with relationships because they are so important. And you talked in that part about making sure that you build your network. That's one of the things I tell young ADs in particular. Make sure you're adding to your network. Being available, being visible, don't be that AD that sits behind your desk, behind a closed door. Get out there, let the kids, let the coaches, let the parents see you. And then, you threw in listening there. One of the most valuable tools, and one I've shared many times that I failed to realize how valuable it was until later in my career. Leslie, thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with our listeners. All the best as you make things official there at West Brunswick. But one more time, if one of our listeners wants to reach out, add you to their network, or just find out how you do things at your school, what's the best way our listeners can connect with Leslie Reeves?
So the best way to contact me is through email. It's Leslie_Reeves at bcswan.net. And I'd love to talk to anybody who wants to chat.
Well, thanks again for all you do, and you guys, all you and your North Carolina cohorts there, keep leading the way. Still one of my all-time favorite conferences. For our listeners, we want to thank you for tuning in and remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this just about every day. We try to share stories along with some best practices for athletic directors and leaders. So please come back and join us again on the next episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time.